The budget is in, and it looks like Ford has created a true austerity budget. There is massive cuts to education, to healthcare, to housing, to environmental protections. And I mean, we have already seen 8 years of underinvestments. This is truly, for many people in Ontario, abandonment. My name is Alexa Gilmore. I am the MPP for Parkdale High Park, and I am here with Diana Chan McNally, who is a community leader in the riding. And we went through this whole budget, and here is what we found.
Frankly, nothing good. Yeah. Looking at this budget, there's definitely nothing good in it, but I'm curious, Alexa, if you could tell us, what do you think people in Parkdale High Park will be most interested to know?
You know, when I did my survey about what they wanted us to come back to the park at Queen's Park and talk about, healthcare was at the top of that. And what we are seeing in this budget is that there is no money to keep the ERs open, especially the rural and northern ERs that have been closing regularly. There's no money for staffing, and we are seeing nursing shortages and even nursing layoffs by the hundreds.
Yes.
And there's nothing in this budget to protect for that. And of course, we're still seeing the move towards the privatization of healthcare.
Absolutely. I think I'm very concerned about housing, and what we're seeing in this budget is that there's actually no new funding for affordable housing as we're in housing crisis, when we have record amounts of homelessness, and we're also seeing that there's nothing for rent relief. In fact, there's nothing for renters at all in this budget, including no new real rent control, which is hugely problematic. I think we're also seeing that there are cuts. We don't know exactly to which housing programs, but we know that they will be devastating. This is really going to be hard for a lot of our people.
Yeah, and this is when we're facing already the possibility of 300,000 people experiencing homelessness by 2035.
Exactly.
It's devastating. You know, there was a number here in education that I was pulling. We are seeing $147.9 million cut to education in the K to 12. And the one thing that we are seeing increase is $41 million over 3 years on school resource officers. That's policing in schools, which you know, many people have already warned us about the devastating effects of that. Now, at the post-secondary level, there's a $69.2 million cut, and there's nothing to reinstate OSAP grants. So this means that that those who have dreams of going into their field of choice those dreams are dying, and it's really painful.
I should say I'm also very concerned. We're talking about expanding the Billy Bishop Airport. Yes. I'm somebody who lives on the waterfront. This is something that impacts me greatly in Parkdale High Park. Anyone who is close to the water, this is a huge issue. And I think for those of us who are following the issue, it's also a lot of municipal overreach. Basically, Ford is saying that our municipal government can't have any say, any control over if this actually moves forward and we expand the airport. And what really alarms me is the fact that we are going to actually enact a special economic zone designation on Billy Bishop. This is the first time this government has been doing this. Yeah. And what that basically means is that any harms that are caused to the land, to the water, to human health, to species, there will be no legal repercussions for this government if any harm is caused at all. Devastating. Yeah,
I mean, we know that Bill 5, which was passed last year, is going to have massive legal pushback. And yet they are pushing ahead with our waterfront, where, you know, as you said, the environmental risks there, all of our users in Parkdale High Park who swim, who kayak, who boat through that space, who walk through that space, the noise pollution of expanding jets, and it all speaks to the larger environmental degradation that this government continues to perpetuate in Ontario, whether that's expanding the Ring of Fire, which we hear a lot about in this budget, whether that's cutting the budget for forest firefighters at this point in time, where forest fires are up on, yes, that happened last year. They've made another cut this year. There's nothing in here around environmental protections and protecting even municipalities from forest fires, which we saw in LA, which we saw in BC. And it's really painful to say that I think a lot of people are going to suffer.
I agree.
So, yeah. You know, I think it means that we've got our work cut out for us, and that I hope that many of you will join us in raising your voice, raising the alarm, and insisting that Ontario can do better. This Conservative government hasn't heard the last from us.
That's right.